Hi, this is Abby Magnuson, and this is my interpersonal communications final project. We were requested to pick a movie from the list, and so I choose The Princess Bride because it's one of my favorites. It's a little backstory about the movie is The Princess Bride is a tale kind of set back in the Dark Ages. A young girl, her farmhand, she falls in love with him and he falls in love with her, and one of his catchphrases is "as you wish," meaning whatever she wants, he'll get it for her. And so they fall in love, but they have no money to get married, so Wesley goes off to kind of make the fortune so that he can pay for the wedding and pay her dad and whatever for the dowry. But he never comes back, and they think that he's dead. Well, fast forward 5 years, and then Buttercup was proposed to by Prince Humperdinck, which is royalty in the next town over. And even though she still loves Wesley, but they think he's dead, so it doesn't work like that. And so she is set to marry him, but she gets kidnapped by Vizzini, who is like a younger guy. He's kind of the headmaster. And then there's the giant, which is Fezzik. And then there's Inigo Montoya, who is the kind of the swordsman and the protector. And he is actually looking for the guy who killed his father, which is the six-fingered man. So she's being kidnapped, and unbeknownst to them, they're actually followed by Wesley, who was the Dread Pirate Roberts. And so basically, the wedding's called off, there's a fight scene, and everyone lives happily ever after, of course. And so from chapter 4, I chose flirting and nonverbal manifestation of emotions. And from chapter 5, I did signs of an abusive partner and the definition of marriage. So for chapter 4, flirting, the definition for that in our book is a non-forced expression of romantic interest. You can see a lot of that throughout the movie, especially when in the beginning, like when Wesley is trying to woo her and flirt with her, saying, "as you wish," trying to get her interested in him because he falls in love with her almost right away from her beauty and her grace and her everything else. Even in my life and anybody else's life, I mean, you can definitely tell when someone's trying to flirt with you, or at least sometimes you can tell when someone's trying to flirt with you. And usually it's not threatening, it's not like you have to do this, it's just, hey, I like you, I want to say this, and kind of woo you a little bit. The other one was the nonverbal manifestations of emotions, and that's like clenching your fists, or your face gets all red from anger, or you start shaking from anxiety or stress. That would be physical manifestations of emotions. And you can definitely see that with Inigo Montoya, especially in the fight scene when he does kill the guy who kills his dad. As he plunges the sword into him, he's shaking because he has so much anger from finally defeating the guy who murdered his father. And you can just see it in his mannerisms. My own physical manifestations are definitely, I shake really bad. My face gets red when I'm nervous. Clenching my jaw when I'm upset. I think those are pretty common ones. And so you can definitely see that even throughout the movie. Like Princess Buttercup, she blushes when Wesley's around, and it's just stuff like that too. Anything can really be a physical manifestation of emotions. And then in chapter 5, signs of an abusive partner, you can definitely see that Prince Humperdinck is an abusive partner because he's controlling. He locks her in the tower and says, you're gonna marry me. I'm not gonna let you not, even though she doesn't love him. And he basically just says, I'm just gonna be done with you after that, and just so that I can be king. And so that's definitely an abusive partner. He's physically abusing, he's emotionally abusing, he's verbally abusing. He's just overall not a good guy. I've had a lot of friends have abusive partners, definitely, and it's not always as easy to see because they like to hide it from people, but once you know what to look for, you kind of do have a better sense of like what is kind of lurking beneath the surface almost. And then finally, the last term I think really fits with this movie is marriage. And marriage, the definition is basically freely giving yourself to another person. And of course, in the end, that's what Wesley and Princess Buttercup do, is they get married and have kids and live happily ever after, of course. But it also strikes with the relationship between Humperdinck and Buttercup, because he's forcing her into marriage, so it's not a gift that she's freely giving, she's being forced into it, kind of. She doesn't really have a say. So it's not a marriage that would ever last, really. So, and those are the key terms that I thought fit well with the movie and really went with the theme, which was a lot of romance and a lot of, bad guy, good guy. And so I just kind of chose those and went from there. Overall, I've learned within these chapter 4 and chapter 5, I've learned a lot about conflicts more so, like marriage, divorce, jealousy, more emotional aspects of it and more physical aspects of it instead of like just the terminology in the first 3 chapters. But yeah, I think this has been a really good chapter and I've really enjoyed learning from it. Thank you.